You got everything, Kate? Does everything feel good?
Yeah, it's all good.
Dude, I'm so excited to make this grilled cheese sandwiches. Holy shit! Yeah, it took me literally a month to start reading this book, kid. 1 month. It took me.
Yeah. You need to finish it, dude. You haven't got to the good part yet.
I read 8 pages at a time. That's just what I do.
It's only 30 pages, though, dude. How much are it?
Fuck you. Not a reader.
Alright, you guys readers?
Well, I'd like to.
Reading's hard.
Let me put it that way.
If I was a reader.
Thanks for having us, man.
Oh yeah, he's gonna hold it.
Joe's gonna be.
He's
strong
fucking
arming
cool.
it.
He's gonna be fucking cool.
You know, wrap the quarter right.
Yep, as long as it's like, just
Yeah.
around here.
Okay.
My cousin Ricky, when he's on, he likes to hold it, but he likes to talk with it and like starts pointing with
Talk
it.
with it.
Hey, blah blah blah. Yeah, but he doesn't even talk with his other hand. His other hand will sit down and he'll just go blah 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 blah. I'm like, Ricky, hold the mic to your face.
Ricky, bro. Mr. Ricky.
I love. Have you met him? My cousin Ricky.
Gervais?
I wish I was.
That'd be so cool. Imagine you say that.
Dude, I love that
I
guy.
wish
He's
that was
so
like that.
funny.
See, the office is already like super too awkward for me to watch.
Really?
So, yeah, seriously.
Dude, that's crazy. It's my favorite TV show
Well,
ever.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like it's
Yeah.
super hard for me to watch because like I don't know what it is with television in general, but like awkward shit happening on TV, it just makes me go and look away. I just can't. I can't like visually see. I'm like, God, dude.
Yeah, it's
almost
much.
like when the guy makes a dork of himself in front of the girl, and you're like, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's hard to watch. I agree with that.
It's
Yeah.
it's exactly like that. It's the same
Yeah.
like thing going off in my brain. Like, fuck, I can't watch this. It's fun though. I enjoy it. It's a funny show. It's just it hits that core. I'm like, fuck, kind of look away. It's weird, but yeah, let's do this.
Are you guys ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
We ready.
3, 2, action!
You talking to me? I'm talking to you, and this is talking to me, talking to you, and I'm joined by Alíco.
Hello.
Hey.
How you doing, guys? Nice to see you.
Good. How are you?
Doing great, Joe. I got you on the couch this time. Spencer, I've had you here once before.
Yeah, so I can just leave now.
No, yeah, we're good. No, we had a great conversation last time. I learned a lot about you. I learned a little bit more about Joe, but like I said, he wasn't here. So
Are you talking about me?
yeah, we were talking about you.
We weren't talking to you. We were talking about you.
That makes
It
sense.
wasn't behind your back either. It was miles away from you. So
Yeah.
For all you know, it could have been in front of you.
Ooh.
No, but I got you guys here. I'm excited to get you both here. Kind of talk about like your music.
Thanks, brother.
and
We're happy
Thanks,
to be
man,
here.
yeah.
how because I got, like I said, I got to get a little bit from you. My favorite song from your solo patch of songs is "Lie." I love that song. The bass line is sick. And I don't know if Joe did Joe have any?
Yeah,
so you helped
so,
along with
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, a
cool.
little bit,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome. I was hoping so.
Yeah.
That was actually that song was done in my basement.
Really?
Yeah, so I just had the riff and then like
recorded in your basement?
no.
Okay,
Like,
I
oh,
was
sorry.
saying,
I meant
really
like
fucking
He's got a
written.
nice basement.
Written. Yeah, I know. That's a nice basement. No, just I think I had like the bass line.
Yeah.
And then like I was with Joe and our friend John Moran.
Yeah.
And also our friend JD Watkins.
Okay.
Our boys back. Joe and I were pretty much in high school at this point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
back in the day. Yeah.
Wow.
And we wrote that song and just kind of wrote the riff, and then I just kind of messed around with lyrics for months and eventually went and recorded it.
So it just spawned from a bass line, which that's like literally my favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah, right. I love that part. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
It's so good.
The guitars in that were
That's
so
great.
much fun to put together.
Was that like kind of one of them songs where it just kind of came together pretty fast and like
The structure, it explained itself for sure.
Yeah, it
For
seems
sure.
like you guys kind of nailed that a lot. It seems like, hey,
thanks.
I have one idea, boom, I have a song. It's like that, like almost like the Big Bang, just like a neutron just collapses and you have a song out of like this singular thing. It's really cool. Like it really shows like how simple songwriting can really be, like, and make
how
a good
natural
song.
it can be.
Yeah, it'd be organic. We kind of talked about just art like that before the podcast with Caden doing the art for you, and just like, hey, Caden, send that to Spencer because you got inspired by their music, so send it and just let it be an organic, cool thing.
Exactly.
I feel like you guys do that really well. You just let the art be its thing.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
Very
Caden
cool.
did a fantastic job.
Oh yeah, Caden's
He's behind the camera. He did
beautiful
fantastic.
drawing, man. He does great with the graphic stuff.
Yeah.
Not enough people hit him
Good
up
job.
for it. It's like a lesser known thing. Of
Yeah, I had
Caden.
no clue that he did it until I had no clue that he had done the cover for our boys See You in the Funnies for for Softpack. I had no clue. Awesome.
Drop.
And not only the cover but like a bunch of stuff in the pages.
Yeah, I'll show it. Ooh. It's
Thank you to our sponsor, Jimmy Klepper.
I love them guys. And you got that piece of art from Caden. You asked him to do another piece.
Which is, I think it's safe to say, it's our favorite.
Yeah. It's really creative. I like it.
Yeah.
That one's just so cool. Yeah.
So that was for a new song.
Yeah.
What's that song's name?
That song is called Gabrielle.
Okay. You guys work fast too, because you just released a new song. What was it, about a month ago?
I think.
If that.
That one came out
October.
3 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah. Like
so
3
yeah,
weeks
close
ago.
to a month.
So it'll be like a month.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
We Don't Love Each Other Anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, which Caden also did the artwork for.
Yeah.
Which was
That was the
amazing.
inspired one.
Yeah.
The random.
And one thing that I love is he also did another version of that art.
Oh yeah.
That's in the color scheme of the art for Gabrielle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's so. Did I send that to you?
Yeah, you did.
So I
yeah.
assume you're gonna
It's-
kind of use those together in that.
Dude, it's so
that's
sweet.
very
So
cool.
it can be super cohesive.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Oh, it looks amazing.
So let's talk about. So you have a new song coming out. I assume since you guys have been dropping new singles, you have an album coming out.
Yes.
So when what is how many songs are we looking at?
So on the album we're gonna have 7 songs.
7 songs.
Yes.
Which
And
include, I'm assuming, Monica,
Monica.
the new song We Don't Love Each Other Anymore, and then this
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle. So
Mhm.
3
Yeah.
singles,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna drop it, and then you have 4 other songs, correct?
Mhm. Yep. And Lie is one of those songs.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah,
guys,
it's
so you
one.
okay? That was a question I was going to ask, if you were going to take a Spencer Anthony song
Right.
and then convert them over into Alíco.
Yep.
Are you using the same recording, or are you
Yeah.
re-recording? Okay, so you're using the
because
same
they
recording?
were produced by the same guy who did the Alíco stuff.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So mixing and
So
mastering is all the
super
same.
cohesive,
Nice.
and he's top notch. I mean, we were
Very
listening
cool.
to
What was his name again?
His name's Mike Pepe.
Mike
so
Pepe.
yeah, Mike is in Los Angeles, and we recorded in a studio called Barefoot Recording, which is like an incredible. Like it was pretty amazing to be there.
Very
Like,
cool.
legendary. All Star by Smash Mouth was recorded by there.
Oh,
It was recorded there. I might have.
really?
Feel like I said that the last time I
Hey,
was
now.
here, but why should I care? Because it's the coolest thing.
That's
ever.
very cool. I think we did.
Somebody.
Press 3 for Shrek.
Have you seen? Because Dune, the movie Dune just came out.
Yeah, I did
I've
see-
yet to see it, but have you
I
seen the
haven't-
Shrek meme of it?
No, I have not. There's
Because
a whole
when
meme.
Michael Myers does the Shrek accent, he says Dune. He goes, "What? I have a horrible Shrek impression, so excuse me.
Dune.
What are you doing in my swamp?" So it's like the Dune album
Holy
poster, but
shit.
it's it's got the poster's got Timothée Chalamet, which everyone says that Joe looks like. By the way, Timothée
I was
Chalamet.
actually thinking that.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Timothy Chalamet.
You kind of
Zendaya.
look like Johnny from The Outsiders too. Yeah.
I've never seen that.
You never did. I
The
was
Outsiders.
No.
Oh wait, no, I don't think.
with
wait,
Patrick Swayze and
and
I like
Rob
Patrick
Lowe.
Swayze.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Johnny.
Yep.
Oh, shoot.
Karate Kid. Karate
Thanks,
Kid.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
Karate
Thanks.
Kid.
I like Ralph Macchio.
Dude,
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
dude, that new show they do is pretty cool.
I need to see it. I've been watching the Karate Kids for the first time ever with my grandma.
Really?
I've never seen them before.
I've seen
And
the first one. I haven't seen like the sequels. Or
So I
nothing.
saw the first one with her and then the second one, and we still have yet to watch the third one. But the second one was just as good as the first, if not
I
better.
bet. I mean, dude,
It was amazing.
It was one of those pinnacle times for movies too. Like
Yeah, where
they-
sequels were amazing. Like the Empire Strikes Back era. Like,
yeah, like the
The
80s.
sequel is just as good.
Yeah,
as-
dude, and
If not
it doesn't
better.
happen like that
If not
anymore.
better.
Like,
Nah,
me,
it's rare
Me and
now.
Kate's always discuss what we're not gonna do sequels, but then like we'll make a really good like idea or like script for a movie, and then we'll be like, dude,
Right.
we gotta write a sequel.
Well, I think the reason those sequels were good was because the original project
was bigger than
than just the first movie.
exactly.
Yeah.
They like chopped it down and then they
Yeah.
just used what they had built, which that in my opinion is the smart thing to do. Like, because you see television shows.
That's
that
why
go
Joe and I
on
are
too
never
long.
going to make an album again because we didn't plan to.
This is it. One and done.
This is it, one and
One and done.
Or you guys just go on like a hiatus for 6 years and then drop another album.
Yeah.
And then we're like, yeah, no, we're just, you know.
We're just messing with you. Here we are.
Well, speaking of the album stuff, so Joe helped make Lie. So Joe, you have a lot of involvement in the music making process now. When did you guys kind of meet and start working together on music?
Official, first time we started playing together was 2017.
Okay, so damn, about 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, fun.
So when and so did you guys just get in and start recording, playing live out together, or was it a slower process?
So actually it was a funny story. I'd known about Joe, and Joe and I had followed each other, and I was interested to play with him, mostly just because he seemed obviously a great drummer, but also a really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be a total fallacy.
I know. I'm horrible. I'm the worst.
No, but I saw him on Instagram. I was like, this dude is so cool. Why don't I just ask him to see if he wants to play drums with me, and see what happens. And he was immediately yeah, dude, I would love to. I was like, oh, sweet.
That's
so we got together, and it was it was pretty instant. It was crazy instant, actually.
Yeah.
It was we I think it was March of 2017 or
February?
February?
No, it was March because it was right before. It was 3 weeks before that EP release you did.
Yeah, exactly.
In the middle of March.
And yeah, my dog was still, because you met Eddie, right?
No, he passed a week before.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
My legendary golden retriever. I'll have to send you a picture. He died
cutie.
in 17.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to get a golden retriever to.
Dude,
but anyway,
you'll have to introduce me to that one.
Dude, right? I know, yeah. Dude, I can't wait for Joe and I to be on tour and stuff, and to see golden retrievers and be like, oh my god, it's a golden retriever. I love golden retrievers.
That's cool, and that goes right into you guys is instantly getting into it. That just goes back into that theme of just the organicness of your guys' art. Hey, you want to play? Yeah, I want to play. All right, let's do it. Boom, songs.
That's pretty much
it.
Honestly.
Do you have an idea for a song? Yeah, I have an idea for a song. Well, boom, we have a song. And well, fuck, man, we need some art. Do you have an idea for art? Yeah, I do. Boom, there. It's it
was wild.
It's awesome, man. It really is cool. How I keep saying, but organic. It just comes together for you guys.
When I look back on it, one thing that I think about is how different our musical backgrounds were.
Yeah.
And how that makes...
Yeah, because Joe's a more classical jazz
style
drummer.
Definitely at the time.
And then you said that you got a lot of inspiration from Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, dude, metal punk.
And
pop, it was literally my world was metal, punk, and pop. And so when I saw Joe on Instagram and stuff, his right, yeah, exactly,
very different.
The
very different.
It was so different, and he was playing with a blues band at the time. And so we even toured with that band a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us did. I played guitar.
You double gigged.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to mess with guitars.
That was cool. Joe and I started the band in April of 2020, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
been playing together since 2000.
Yeah, right. But we officially
2020.
It was
Alíco.
So it was before then. It was just under my name as Spencer Anthony.
Yeah.
And but and the reason that it was, not to get super off topic here, but the reason that it wasn't a band from the get go was because I was living in Los Angeles and then coming home, so there wasn't really much consistency.
Yeah.
And also, I kind of wasn't hot on bands. I was in, some bands in high school, but I didn't think that I could, get with, 4 guys or whatever who I could, not only be best friends with, but also, be vibe creatively with.
Yeah.
Or,
a big thing.
Yeah, right. Because since I'm kind of a mad scientist,
you
guys
need that
who would,
person to be
kind of...
super honest with, hey,
right.
What do you think about this? Is this bad? Is this good? Where are we fucking up? Where are we doing good?
And also to trust that when I, start to go off the rails,
pull you back in.
Or join them.
No, which is what Joe does. He's when I'm really starting, when I'm really starting to go, Joe's along for the ride, and that's I think, and also us, I think when we started touring together, we grew really close.
Yeah.
We started to
I could see that.
because you go through you talk about whatever's going on in your lives.
It was a van.
Yeah,
it was a van.
Sprinter van. Yeah. So we and we were, I think I was 19, Joe was 18 at the time.
Yeah.
And we just we were, all had different things going on in our personal lives.
Both had lady issues.
That we talked about those in depth. No, but we just started to get really close, and so I think, the reason after that Joe was playing shows with me, and it was just Spencer Anthony, or we were in another band together.
Okay.
That was like it was a pop band, and that's actually where Monica comes from.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
song comes from that.
Yeah, so that band song
Project.
comes from that project. So Joe actually played bass in that.
Okay.
And so when the pandemic hit and I moved home, the first thing I was gonna do was like, you know, my determining factor on whether I was gonna move home or not is whether I could pursue music. And I didn't really want to pursue music unless I was doing it with Joe, because we like, I felt
you got
like
that chemistry.
yeah, we just kind of had that chemistry.
You just feel it, like when you're working together with somebody
Yeah.
on something, or just like being friends. Like you, like,
Yeah.
boop, boop, boop. Hey, what are you doing? You want to do this today, dude? You want to find out? You want to work on this? You want
Yeah.
to do that? Fuck it. You want to just go
Right.
to nature and see nature? Fuck it. Like just hop on the
Yeah.
train and like
Hop on the train and see where
You guys
yeah.
are best friends, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that like I was like, I had come to a point in life, as I guess people do when pandemics hit, where it's like, oh man, I should really be doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know? And I gotten so lost. Like I was a personal trainer at the time, and it took up so much of my time. I was getting so lost in that. And like when I moved, or when I knew that I wasn't going to be living in Los Angeles anymore, like I realized, oh yeah, I really want to just do what I want. And I realized, like, you know, through different conversations that I had, like I realized that I always wanted to be in a band, but because of, you know, high school bands that didn't work out, like I was kind of like,
Yeah, you was kind of.
I was kind of like, nah, I should just, I turned away from it. And then it was just, you know, if I was in a band, I was just kind of hanging out and was just there, like just playing, you know. But then I thought to myself one day, I was like, well, like if I was going to be in a band, like we don't need we could just do it with us.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, wow, this is even better than before, because I feel like we can, as a band, we have more to say than if it's just my name.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It turns into a bigger thing just based
Yeah.
off of like the exactly.
And
yeah,
it's less like I've always, my dream since I was a kid was to do it with my best friends.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
dude,
Have
for
fun and
sure.
like, and him and I, like, we have fun at shows. Like we, you know, genuinely like we're friends. And I think that kind of like, that was one of the big factors behind just starting the band. Like Joe knew like at a point, like we were going to do music together, but we both just assumed it was going to be like some more Spencer Anthony stuff. And then I remember calling him one day and being like, hey man, I think this is the thing.
This is
us. Like I think this is like a band.
That was like week 1 of the pandemic.
You know?
It's an amazing feeling when you have a dream and then somebody like
confirms it.
yeah, somebody confirms it.
Yeah, like, oh, you want to do this with me? Okay.
I still
I'm game.
do that with
I'm
Joe.
game,
I'm like,
dude.
wait, you really want to?
I'm like, dude, full
Yeah,
speed
he's like,
ahead.
yeah, let's do it.
When we have a good idea, it's hilarious because like I'll look at Ken and I'm like, is this the fucking idea now? Are we doing this thing now? Are we switching what we were doing for like 2 months and now we're doing something, and then like we'll just start bouncing ideas, and it just feel like you're saying, that good feeling of like, dude, we're having fun, we're like being, you know, creative, we're doing it with somebody that like we genuinely care about as a friend. It's very
I think
cool.
that's important. So we had we had a lot of experiences playing different kinds of music.
Yeah.
And also when we were just playing as Spencer Anthony, when it was just like me and I had a band, it was more like it was a band anyway. That was always the vibe.
So has it always been a 2-piece, or have you guys had more
No,
members?
We had like, what,
At one point we had 5.
Yeah, we had 5 at one point.
Like, is there recordings with these people that you guys have done?
There are like videos.
Okay.
We used to play this venue called the Underground,
Okay,
which is
yeah,
actually where
very
21 Pilots signed their record deal.
That's very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. That was what
it's-
we talked about last time, was Ride. The song Ride up
Right.
at
Yes!
Grove City. That
I
was what we were
recorded
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, I love 21 Pilots.
That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's very
That's
cool.
kind of what inspired our band, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Like duo from Ohio play music.
yeah,
like-
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, because when we first started the band, it was about, we watched 2 documentaries together. We'd have like, Joe and I would have these like slumber parties where we would just powwow on like different ideas and stuff.
Yes.
Joe's like,
That sounds like us, man. Sounds like us.
and now you guys are living together. It's a permanent slumber party.
Did you want to watch
Slumber
you wanna
party
watch
that
a
you
movie,
can
man?
never leave.
A very long sleepover.
We binged 3 movies. What was it? Little Miss Sunshine, The Doors movie, and what was the last one? The Outsiders. I just talked about. Yeah.
Yep.
So we binged those, and I'm just like, man, these films they're just like, we're just like breaking them down, you know, the whole time.
Yeah, because you guys with your you guys are very similar to us. I mean, incredibly similar. Like you guys are running a duo film company, you know, just very similar, you know, with Claremont Films. Shout out.
Yeah, and dude, like right back with us just kind of jumping in the shit, like that's just kind of our thing too. Like this movie, we wrote it and then we like showed it to some people. We kind of casted them, like, hey, you're gonna be in this movie, and then we like did like a sit down read with the director and one of the assistant directors, and they kind of just like, let's just do it, and like, should we just do it? Let's just do it, and then like we just started making the movie. And slowly, kind of like everything, it always happens like that when you make movies. Like you piece it together, like one by one, no matter what. Like once you get the other room, it's like, well, let's get rid of all of this, and this is the movie now. It's completely different, you know. So we knew that was gonna happen, but just saying screw it, we have the feeling and the idea now, the excitement, that lightning in the bottle kind of shit. Let's hit it now, and so yeah, I relate to you guys on that for sure.
When we jam and just like work on new ideas and even jam on stage, like we like when we're covering like nights and stuff, when we're doing types of gigs where we're just kind of like trying to entertain an audience for 3 hours or something, and it's a long set, like we'll work on some jams, and just kind of start feeling the energy, and there'll be points where we look at each other like, whoa.
Yeah,
like this jam should be more than a jam. This should turn into something,
That's one of them times like, man, I wish the cameras were rolling at all times so we could go back and
listen
to that and like,
exactly.
all right, let's make that a song.
Yeah.
That goes into that like idea thing too, because those all those natural moments is when that kind of shit happens too. Like I've learned to start writing stuff down, like whenever I have an idea, like I just write it down real quick, even if I don't remember completely what it was from just looking at a little note. I'll still be like, oh yeah, that was an idea I had. Maybe I can formulate a different idea off of that.
Right.
It's wild how like just creations happen, just you can either have this thought out like big plan to do something and take your time on it, or you can just say screw it and let it be what it is, whatever it is.
And both can work really well.
Yeah, and even if it doesn't, like just like being, proud of your work and just saying I'm gonna display it to the public no matter what, unless it's like obviously like oh, it's ruined, it's not good, like but just being willing to let that out too, no matter what it is, because art is art, and just being open to that is another good thing to take from just being organic like that. It's like, hey, this might not be great because we didn't plan it, but we're having fun doing it, and that's kind of the point. Like, have that excitement in doing what you're doing, for sure. Yeah,
I think we really like to incorporate both of those elements for sure, because I think that sometimes when we write songs, it's like super thought out, but we're not relying, but we're just excited about that spontaneous element too. Yeah. Because I remember there was this one on Gabrielle on the new song. There was this one drum part Joe had in his mind, and he, had brought it because there was a second pre-chorus, and Joe was like, "Hey, what about this specific drum beat and this part, and how, what if this super fast part comes in and then we have a deliberate stop right here and it comes back in and blows up and like he kind of showed me and that whole entire part and what he was thinking, and I was like, whoa. Yeah. And now when I listen to that on the track, it literally came through like perfectly.
To continue to brag on Joe, I remember the first time I met you was at Bean and Brew.
Yeah, that was a couple months ago.
You were on the I still haven't seen you play drums, but you were on the, what is it called?
The Cajon.
Cajon, yeah, the Cajon. The Cajon.
That was the whitest thing ever. The Cajon.
Well, no, I was working at a music store and some guy came in and he was like, "Yeah, I love the Cajons, man." And I knew because I've been with this guy. I knew it was called a cajon. But I just thought that was the funniest thing.
When Mason was on, he was telling me he plays the djembe. He's like, a lot of people walk up to me and call it the djembe. Da djembe.
Oh, it's
not the djembe, da djembe. Oh my god. But no, the brag on you though, like I just playing that, I was like, okay, this dude's good. And thanks, I asked you, I was like, how long you been like playing drums for? And you're like, fucking 20 years. And I'm like, how old are you? I'm like, how old are you? And he's like, 21. I'm like, you've literally been playing drums your entire life? You're like, yeah, no, seriously. And I'm like, oh, he's fucking serious. So like I from then refer to you as like a prodigy. So you're a prodigy drummer in my eyes.
Joe, you're a prodigy.
You can't like. So how did that happen? As like being that young and like just started banging on the drums. Did you like?
Yeah.
So when did you like? I mean, obviously it's hard to look that far back.
Yeah.
But when did you like start to notice you're like, hey, I'm getting good at this. This is what I'm gonna keep doing for like my life.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is definitely hard to think back. It's as long as I can remember, I was playing drums.
Yeah,
but my dad and his whole family were musicians, and so they always had instruments laying around. And
that was like your playroom.
Yeah,
with the toys. Okay.
Yeah, so my dad said one day I just went downstairs and started playing a beat, and he thought like the radio was on, so I went down and tried to turn it off. He was like,
You were playing a beat?
Yeah, I was playing a beat, and so he like took me upstairs. He's like, maybe he's not meaning to do it, so he took me upstairs, played with me a little bit, we wrestled or whatever, and then I went back down, played like a different beat or something. But
what Joe's not including is that he was banging his head on the drums. He wasn't using his head.
Oh yeah,
sure.
For
sure.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, so as far as I could like look back, drums has always been just
a part of your life.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Like I wish I could look back and be like, this is the day I just. But
yeah,
it's
it's probably hard. There's one other friend I have that I consider to be like along that same line. I asked him like, when did you start playing instruments and piano? He's like, I was like 2. And I'm like, that just blows my mind that you could like almost pick it up and just start to do it, because I started playing music when I was 11, which is still decently young.
Oh yeah.
But like the brain is just more developed to understand figures and shapes and stuff like that.
Sorry, Will. I got to tell you, I've got a secret. My entire intention for this interview is just to make Joe turn red from laughing.
All right, so no more bragging on Joe. Now let's make fun of him.
Yes, let's do it. Ready.
Please, I would love.
We have an
it.
announcement.
Oh yeah.
We're releasing an album.
Oh, you're releasing. Oh, in Holy Matrimony.
Holy Matrimony. We're gonna have like for each album we release, which actually this is our only album, like we said earlier.
Oh so. Yeah. No, you guys done.
But anyway, if let's say we did hypothetically release more albums, we would put a new ring on each finger.
For each album.
Yeah.
That sounds actually
not a bad idea.
Actually not. It's not. I know this is joking.
I'm cool with
funny,
that.
But that's actually
I'm about it.
It's like a class ring or Super Bowl ring. You're like, yeah, check this out. This is my album.
From this album.
From 2005. This is my album from 16. So the album was pink and blue. So that's why the gems are pink and blue.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
There's a story I forgot to ask you about last time, Spencer, that I wanted you to tell on the podcast about your Telecaster. The first time I met you, you showed me your Telecaster, and you told me this big story about how like it like was super sentimental to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a name inscribed to it where like the fender would be. You had scratched off and you had a name inscribed to it. What's the name? And
Jeanette.
And can you tell me the story?
Yeah.
About
So Jeanette, when I lived in Los Angeles, Jeanette Moss is her name, and her name is Maus. So I'd always say Mouse before I found out it was actually Moss. But she was one of my greatest mentors and like one of the best people I'd ever met. And someone who means the absolute world to me. Yeah. And she was like 34 when I met her, 33, but she looked like she was 22. So I was like, oh yeah, I was like 16. It's like, oh yeah, there's this coach. She's like in her early 20s. She's just acting coach. So, and I went to her classes, and I was with a bunch of different actors who are now like literally exploding. Yeah. Who are some of my best friends. And Jeanette was like the mama bear to all of us. And we started this acting class that became like iconic within our friend group and in Los Angeles. And Jeanette like taught me so much about everything. I mean, about life and she was just very one of those people who kind of like is hard on sleeve entirely. That was like one of the biggest things. And during the pandemic, she had a battle with Crohn's disease since she was in her late 20s. And so that was really tough for her. And then she was diagnosed with cancer in, I believe, maybe like early summer of 2020. And then she'd gotten better. So by the end of 2020, we had been really optimistic and everything with her condition. And it seemed like it was a minor cancer. And that it would pass. She'd be in full remission. But in January, out of the blue, I was working at a music store at the time. Willis Music Eastgate. Love those guys. A kid brought in a cheap guitar, and it was this beautiful green. And I was like, well, that's beautiful. And I played it, and I was like, wow, it needs some work, but dang, it's nice. And then literally, like, set the guitar down. I was thinking about whether should I buy it or should I not. And then I got a text, a long text from a friend then within all of our friend group to let us know that, and then I'd gotten a call from Jeanette's best friend, Graham, announced that she had passed away.
Yeah.
And so I was, very, very shocked. Very.
This is while you were getting that guitar, like
right?
Looking at that.
Exactly. Literally while I was in that moment. Yeah. And so, went out the car and was just grieving with friends and just in shock, sharing our, unanimous shock and sorrow and just heartbreak over it. And then I kind of sat in my car and I was, really emotional and thought about it for a second and realized she'd sent me that guitar. And so when I went back inside, I knew, that number one, I had to buy it and that it needed to be something really special.
Yeah.
Because I needed something that reminded me of her and her lessons and the way that she lived, like in her humility, overwhelming humility. Mm-hmm. Every single time that I, played on stage or, did what I love, because one of the last things she said to me was I was at this crossroads of, should I continue with acting or should I, pursue music full time? And I am in love with what I got to do acting in Los Angeles, but yeah. I had decided, at that time to go full on into this. And the last thing that she said to me was, I 100% support you, love you, and believe in you. And I know that you're going to be amazing at this.
So she got to see you play before she passed.
Yes, she did.
Okay. Sure.
And but it was a phone conversation. I was in Cincinnati and she was in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And she 100% was like genuinely like,
go for it.
Like you were, this is you. And I love this. And so knowing that and watching all those dots connect, that really inspired me. So my uncle is a genius. He's a brilliant engineer. And so he's got an engraving machine. And so we engraved her name into the headstock of the guitar.
Yeah.
And then, did some other things to the guitar, changed out the guts of it, and basically put like a, if comparing it to a car, we put like a Mercedes engine into it. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like a guitar that sounds so beautiful, and so it has such personality and flair and style, and is loud. The color, the green. It's just a great way to honor her. So
no, yeah, it's very beautiful. It's compelling, dude, for you to
thanks
to make to honor somebody's life with something so like dear to you. Like that's how you make your music, which is close to what she gave you, like her blessing to like, hey, follow your dreams, do the music. Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing, man. And like I'm glad you told that story.
Yeah. Thanks for allowing me the time to share. That's really I love
that. And that's like the first story you told me when you met me. So like that just brought like such a like for me meeting you like human to human. Like it's just very like. What a story to tell somebody like when you first meet them. Like I commend that. Thanks, of how open you are.
Oh, thanks.
To be a human being and just let you like, hey, this is me. This is the thing. Like here's something super important to me. I know you don't know who the hell I am, but I'm going to share myself with you.
Well, I thought it was awesome that you'd asked.
Yeah, well, because you said you like showed it, you like had it, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's a beautiful guitar, and you're like, oh, blah blah blah, and you started playing on it, and I touched it, and then you're like, yeah, this is actually super important to me. And then you told the story. You didn't get into detail like that. I didn't know that she was your acting coach and all that stuff. But that makes it even more cool because it's just a part of your story that, like, I'm continuing to learn about, like how you got to know these people, be in these different places, but it's all kind of collided together into this very cool thing. Like you're making music with your best friend Joe over here. He's a prodigy drummer. it's dude. He's funny as hell. I like this guy.
Thanks, man.
Oh, trust me.
Second time I met him.
Oh,
like,
trust me.
I love
It does.
I've still not seen him play drums except for like on tracks and not live. I've seen stuff, but so I am excited to actually see you guys and continue to see you guys grow. You guys are very, very cool.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks, brother.
You guys are beautiful.
Thanks so much for having us.
You guys have a lot of fun, man, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, we're just lucky to be doing this. And thank you for having us,
dude. Thank you guys so much for
thank you,
coming
man.
out the podcast.
I'd love to. It's an honor.
Heck yeah.
Well, guys, this has been Talking to Me, Talking You. Thank you for watching.